Hey all, Board Game Rancher, where you'll find everything solo tabletop gaming and more. The end of March 2020, a rather historic, that's an understatement. Here's the MVP show, here's what I've been playing, here's what I've been thinking about it. Let's go. So I don't really know where to start in all this. There is so much going on. To say that a month ago when I last recorded this video, the MVP show, to now that the world's changed would be kind of like almost an understatement in a weird way. I wish the best for you. I hope you and yours, your loved ones, your friends, your family are staying healthy and staying safe. It's tough to watch, it's tough to see, and it's awfully scary where people's lives are concerned. All the other impacts, be it financial and all the other negative ways this is affecting people, pale in comparison to how terrified I am about just my loved ones and people that I care about staying alive. But that's the scariest thing for me in all of this, and I hope that you and everyone you care about is staying safe and staying healthy during this crazy time. Enough of that. Let's get into what I've been playing. I got 52 plays in of 12 different games. So quite a variety there, and certainly some multiplayer games here. Us solo tabletop gamers, right now, if you're fortunate enough to be barricaded in, locked in with your loved ones, hopefully you've got more than just yourself. And it's a great time to not be playing by yourself if you don't have to. And so I found that I need to, in this time where we all need to be together and we all need to kind of keep our spirits up, I played a lot of games that were not solo, as you shall see. I started up too on the day that it was announced a global pandemic, a podcast. So check that out. You can find that. I'm trying to do it daily, but I skip a day here and there, but it's just a daily, I try to keep it around 5 minutes, what I'm doing, what I'm playing and stuff, what I'm looking at, what I'm reading, just sort of a daily little diary, little podcast diary of what I'm doing. So if you care to follow along, you can find it. I don't know the whole thing and how it works too well and how you find people podcasts, but I know it's on Spotify, which I know is a big platform, and it's on a number of other platforms. So look for it if you'd care to. That's kind of a new resource if you want to know more about what I'm doing, what I'm playing, and that sort of thing. So what have I been playing? Let's skip through this stuff, shall we? Dominion. Played one game of Dominion with my son. I just wanted to introduce him to the game that started all the deck building, the whole genre. And so that was fun to get into. It was I remember learning this game like over a decade ago and thinking, wow, this is pretty complex and games have kind of evolved and stuff. And so it was awfully easy to teach. My son picked it up like that. We had a pretty good time, but only got one play of that in. Dawn of the Zeds. I busted that out because you can play it sort of 5 players, but it's more of a 4-player game unless the 5th player really wants to be controlling the Zeds, which is the zombies. So the Dawn of the Zeds is a cooperative zombie apocalyptic game, and you're trying to keep the zombies out of town center. If they get to town center and they're coming in from the forest, they're coming in from the highway, they're coming in from the tunnels, they're coming in from all these different directions, following these paths, just trudging along, and all you're doing is slowing them down. You're not stopping them. You just got to get to the end of the game, and which is basically time this deck that you're going to flip through. But if they hit the center, then you're done. You've lost. And we had a great time playing this. It took us forever. When you play it was 5 people. I was basically like DMing, teaching people how to play the game, and there was 4 of them playing. I was running the zombies, but I wasn't playing the zombies. And it took 2 nights to get through. That's a long game. You can play that with multiplayers. Woo, you're going to be in for it. So just to let you know. But they had a great time. They managed to stem the tide. They held off the zombies, won the game. It was some great rolls. You got some rolls that are just devastating, and you're rolling the dice. And it can always be like that in those kind of games. I had some great moments here. So another great time, another non-solo, but it is a solo game, and I played it solo, and I've talked about it solo. That was Dawn of the Zeds one play. Sprawlopolis. I don't know why I busted this out. Wait, maybe that's a lie. I think I do know why I busted this out, but I can't recall it. Anyway, it's just the greatest little solo card game, like, ever. Like, for its size and how much it costs and what you get out of it. Sprawlopolis. I've talked about it before. You can check. You can find some videos on it. The best little pound-for-pound solo game, like, ever. Sprawlopolis. Got to play that. So, Nemesis. I played Nemesis 6 times. Nemesis was my favorite game of 2019. And this expansion, bottom line is I could have done without. Nemesis alone is just a treat beyond any need for this expansion. So that's that in a nutshell. But I got 6 plays in and tried. I did like, you can introduce turrets, which is kind of a cool thing, and it comes with some new characters and stuff, which is great. But the different variants that it added, I felt like I could do without. Tainted Grail, only 4 more plays in. So Tainted Grail, it stayed on my table forever, and then once I stopped and thought, I'm going to take a break, I never got back to it. It's just, and that's when I really knew I needed a break. I knew I needed to take a break from playing role-playing games because I was just feeling burnt out a little, and I'll get to another one here that I played, but Tainted Grail, I got like 4 plays in, and then I was like, no, I'm going to leave it up, and I'm going to go over here, I'm going to play this game and that game, and come back to it. Never did. It just sat there for a couple weeks, I feel like, and I finally just put it away. I love how it plays. I love the little combat system. I think that's very cool and unique, how you like link certain things from card to card to card to card that create these kind of awesome little combos and stuff, and you're building your combat deck, you're building your diplomacy deck, and then you're roaming around. I mean, it is a fantastic game. Hoping to get back to that. We'll see, though, with my track record of putting things away like that. Anyway, Tainted Grail, 4 plays. Arkham Horror, the card game. I don't, again, know exactly why I wanted to, but I did. I pulled this back out and I started playing it again. I played it 7 times, and God, what a great game. It is just like the epitome of sound mechanics that allow you to experience a campaign in all sorts of different, from scenario to scenario, different feel. It's almost like a different feeling game the way they do it, but it all fits in the same rule set, so you don't have to learn like a bunch of rules. And it's done so well. The story is done so well. It's very, you can get into it, and then you can kind of choose different directions while you're building your deck in a very satisfying. The base game doesn't come with a lot of ways that you can change your deck, but enough. But I had a couple little expansions that I still have yet to tap into. That's kind of what I was hoping to kind of keep going and maybe try some of the expansions, and I just never did. I enjoyed the base game, though, just by itself. I mean, you can get it for a great value. If you're into solo gaming, this is a good 2-player game as well. But if it's just one of the better little card games that you can play solo, I think that exists. So 7 games of that in. Now, I got Welcome To, the neighborhood, or building a neighborhood or whatever. Welcome To. It's a very simple game. It's not a roll and write, but it's sort of a draw cards and write. It's got the write down, but you're drawing cards. There's no dice, and it's like, and you can have as many people as you want playing, because you're just going to have basically sets of cards. Now, well, I'm talking about as if I played multiplayer. I have not. I've only played it solo. But Welcome To is a very cool little game. It's light, and so I never get too into light games. But the biggest reason I got this was because Liz Davidson from Beyond Solitaire kind of sold me on it a little bit. I watched her video, and I watched her talk about the separate solo expansion, the Alexis solo mode that you can get. So it doesn't come with the base game. The base game comes with the solo mode, but it's very simplistic. It's just basically you're just playing by yourself, the same way you would play if you were playing with other people, and it's not very satisfying. But the Alexis mode, holy moly, that is a demonstration of how you can take a fairly a game and create a solo variant of that base game and make it better. Because I feel like, and I think she even mentioned, but when I learned the Alexis mode and started playing it, and I played it 4 times again. It takes on a whole new life. You know, the if you were playing multiplayer, you wouldn't have to think about necessarily what everybody else is doing, because you're just kind of in your own world, and no one can like steal cards from you, kind of thing. But with the Alexis solo mode, you're playing against Alexis, and you're basically going to draw 3 cards, decide what to do with 2 of them, and discard the third one. Well, that third one, you've got to pay attention, because that's how the Alexis mode is going to score. It's going to use the cards you don't use. And in what order you put those in this stack matters, because it's going to score. It's incredibly clever. It's kind of like came out of nowhere. I would not expect someone to have developed such a fine, intricate, robust solo mode for such a fairly simple game. It really makes the game for me. So I would say it's well worth it. It's fairly inexpensive to pick up, and if you're into roll and writes and solo roll and write style games, get the Alexis mode. Don't just stick with the base solo game. At least I wouldn't. Get that Alexis mode and get the base game, and it's fantastic. So moving on, I got into kind of a Lacerda thing. I dug into Lacerda hard and Vita Lacerda, and picked up Vineos Deluxe, and wanted to try some more solo stuff, because On Mars, and I talked a lot about On Mars and how the game is fantastic, but the solo mode, again, that comes with it is just very mundane. And then I heard from somewhere, hey, check out Vineos Deluxe. Everybody's kind of got their favorite solo, but I decided to pick this up right before my local game store got shut down, and I'm glad I did. But I also played 3 others. I have 4 in my collection of Vita Lacerdas, and so I played Vineos Deluxe. I played it 5 times, played the solo, and it is on the lighter side for me. It was definitely felt like the lightest Vita Lacerda game I played. The solo mode was okay, but again, it was just kind of on par with all the others, and it's just kind of just a way to allow someone who has the game to play it solo and kind of experience its mechanics, but there isn't much like in it for the long run for me. So I played that 5 times, and kind of first I was pretty excited, but after I got to my 5th time, I realized there's definitely some luck involved. In order to reach the higher levels, it's just sort of like certain things can't happen too early in the game, or you're never going to catch up. And I found that a little discouraging, and so I kind of put that away, and then I was like, you know what? I'm going to try Kanban. That doesn't have an official solo mode, and it Kickstarted recently with a David Turczi solo mode, which I know is going to be off the charts fantastic, but I just couldn't find myself. I'm getting tired of getting, edition, and that's one thing with Eagle Gryphon games, very expensive games, and Vita Lacerda games are all coming out Eagle Gryphon. Great quality, but good Lord, I could use a little less quality and cheaper. All the games are like over $100 or $100. So where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so Kanban is another edition is coming out. It's like there's Kanban, the regular edition, which I have, and then there's like a driver's edition, and then there's a something edition, and now there's going to be another edition. I think there's 4 editions. It's like good. I don't need to spend 4 times the money on a friggin' game. So I didn't pick it up, but I decided to take out my original version. It had some unofficial solo variants, and I dabbled into those and played 3 games of it with these unofficial solo variants, and one which just kind of has you sort of try and beat your own high score, but it also comes with a cool little table to kind of measure how well you did, which is nice. I like that. Rather than just beat your high score, it's like, okay, you're trying to beat your high score, but here's where you rank based on what score you got. And I know that adds a nice little, it's the next level up from beat your own high score. And then the other one was just flat out, you were trying to beat an opponent, and it came very colorful. It was very well done. And again, you just print it off of Board Game Geek and find these variants. And I liked it, but there was some like translation stuff that was difficult. I couldn't quite grasp, but I got some good playing in. Kanban is just fun. It's colorful. It's beautiful. It looks like this gorgeous mess on the board, but I love the mechanics and just the idea. I like the theme. If anything, Vita Lacerda puts out these Euro games, which aren't really known well for thematicness, and just puts a layer of theme on it that you really feel. And so I enjoyed that with Kanban as you're, working in a car factory. Then I went on to the gallerist. And another thing, so I take out the gallerist and I'm relearning it. Another Vita Lacerda. That's the art game. A lot of people love this game. And the solo variant is, again, it's just very solo gaming, and solo variant design is now a thing. There are people who specialize in it, like David Churchy, like Automa Factory. People that just are getting, it's like an art now. And so now it just makes a lot of these games that come on with sort of a tacked on solo. I mean, I wouldn't say these are tacked on. These are fairly well thought out, but nothing compared to like the design of the game. I feel like if it's Vito Lacerda who's designing the solo variants, it's kind of like, whatever he has left, he sort of designs a little solo. But the meat and potatoes, of course, is in the base game itself. And so solo design just feels more and more tacked on because the bar has been raised so high with solo variant design. And I love the fact that it seems like Vito Lacerda caught on to that and got David Churchy to do a solo variant for Kanban. Some way, somehow, in the future, I will get my hands on this and try it out. But that'll be in the future. Back to the gallerist. I played it twice. And also, too, another remarkable thing is as complex as these games are, and they all, you average these 4 games, it's well over 4.0. It's in the 4 range of weight. They were not difficult to relearn. There is kind of a thing to them, and once you get that Lacerda vibe down, it's not that difficult to bounce from game to game. Especially when I was relearning the gallerist, there's a lot of parallels between that and On Mars. That kind of like, oh wow, so the gallerist, so that's where maybe On Mars got that from and stuff. And so the gallerist was easy to relearn, and it is so beautiful, and the components are crazy. It comes with these cool little what do you call those things? You set the easels. Easels? Am I saying that right? You put the pieces of art on. Just crazy components. Again, Eagle Griffin, very expensive again. But that game, if it's just fun. Just fun to set up. It's a quick play too, the gallerist. And again, though, the solo variant is very simplistic. There's just kind of this thing that kind of waltzes around and blocks some spots and steals some tickets, which speeds up the game, and that's about all there is to the solo variant. But at least it lets you play and enjoy the design genius of Vita Lacerda, which is the biggest thing that I love about the solo variants. Is it just lets me play these gorgeously designed games, and so I do appreciate that. So then I went on and I was like, you know what, I gotta keep going. I gotta roll it. Gotta go. Gotta play the last one. Played On Mars. Played one time. Hadn't played it in over a month. And went into it, and it was as heavy as this game, and I think it's still rated like 4.5 something. I don't know, super heavy. It was really easy to relearn. And I'd played how many games from when there's other games where if I take a month off and I've played 10 other different games and learned a bunch of others again from there, and then try to go back to a heavy game, sometimes it's just like almost damn near takes as long to relearn as before. But this, On Mars was like as I was setting it up, it just all kind of, yep. The heaviest feeling thing about that game to me, again, is just trying to not forget when you do certain actions, and that you can take these free actions, and when do you get crystals, when do you spend them. It's just sort of like, did I check this off the list when I did this action? It's not like, what action do I want to do? You kind of know what you want to do, at least I do. It's just, okay, did I remember to, okay, use the tech here. Got to remember, got the oxygen there. Okay, got to raise that. Okay, did I move this? Did I build a complex? That's the heaviest part of the game, is just remembering all this stuff. But the game itself plays very smooth for me, and it looked gorgeous. I got On Mars on the table, played it once, got all the Vita Lacerdas in 1 month, and my favorite of the group is On Mars. It's gorgeous looking, and I love the theme of it, and it's just it's gets the highest marks from me. I enjoy playing it the best out of all those games, On Mars. And I hope that at some point it just comes out with a better solo variant so that I can truly enjoy it. It actually, if it had a solo variant that matched the beauty and design of the game itself, On Mars, it would be easily in my top 10 of any solo game list. at least for a year. Anyway, that was my Vita Lacerda run there. So my greatest disappointment of the month, Sword and Sworcery. Sword and Sworcery is, it's on there. It's in that top 100 list. It might be in the top 50 of Board Game Geek one-player guild. And I'm going through and I'm ticking them off. I want to get through all 100 of the top solo games in the one-player guild, and this was one of them. And I played it 5 times, and while I like it, I do like it. It's, it's right up my alley. It's a role-playing game. There's a sense of progression to it. There's a little bit of a campaign there. Not much of a story, really. But I guess what really struck me and what I found most disappointing is just, for me, just how unremarkable it felt. There was nothing novel there for me that I was like, wow, I've never seen that happen in a game. I don't know. It just wasn't there. It all just felt like a hodgepodge of, it took from bits of this game and bits from that game and bits from this game. I played so many role-playing games, and again, I was a little burnt out on them. And this kind of came right off on the back of Tainted Grail, which I was already kind of just... So that probably didn't help my opinion of it much, but still, I just have a lot of experience in role-playing games in general, and games where you level up. It's just, that's what I love the most. Like, Too Many Bones, or, Tainted Grail. City of Kings would be another one. Dungeon Degenerates is another one I played recently. Great game. But like in the past, there's I don't know what it was. Like Pathfinder. Up there, I played, that was a long time ago, but Dungeon Alliance and but Mage Knight, games along those, Folklore, The Affliction, Cloudspire, any of the Arkham Horror, the living card games where you're playing through and leveling up and stuff. All these games that I've played, and then Sword and Sworcery comes along, and all those too. You can kind of there's all kind of, they feel like, well, I don't know about all of them. I guess I'd have to think through it a little bit more, but Sword and Sworcery was, again, the disappointing thing about it for me was that it just felt unremarkable. It was like, oh, this has been done before. This is just another thing. And the rule book was just massive. And man, yeah, I mean, for a game that's just like kind of feels like it's been done before, or it's just a hodgepodge of all these things. Like took like all the rule books and added all the rule books that it took from and created this monstrous thing. It's 50 something pages long. So yeah, it's perfectly fine fantasy role-playing adventure game, I think. But for me, it was just, after I got through 4 or 5 players, I was kind of like, that's okay. I always enjoy learning a new system and a new game, and I just kind of felt like, I guess that's it, Anyway, so that was Sword and Sworcery. Got 5 plays of that in. So what was my MVP of the month? Well, for the first time ever, I think, it was a non-solo game. I don't remember even how. I just saw it, and I was like, I wonder what that's about, and I can't remember what it is. The Crew, Quest for Planet 9. Little trick-taking card game, but cooperative. And we played games that are cooperative, like Hanabi and The Mind. And then I saw this, and I was like, yeah, it might be a good idea to get a game that we can all play. I'm including myself. There's 5 of us here, all stuck in the house, and it was cooperative, and then it got a rave review there by Tom Bassel, so I picked it up, and it was cheap. It was like, at the time, it was like $15 on Amazon, and we busted right in and we started playing it. 12 plays of The Crew, Quest for Planet 9. Now, 12 plays. No, there's more plays. We're just on 12 of 50 missions. We have played it for many hours, over, I think only over 2 nights now, but at least a couple hours each of those nights. And we have to play a mission over and over again until you kind of complete it, and then you can move on. This game is just, and everybody took to it. Two of the people I'm playing with had never played like don't even remember playing really a trick playing card game, but it's just so easy to teach. And then once you kind of know what you're doing, these little missions all just add little different things. Like if you've ever played a game where you play like Pinochle or Bridge, or any of those old people games. Bridge, by the way, if you've never played Bridge, what you can do in a game of Bridge with a simple little deck of cards, you've got 4 people and you play one team against the other team. Bridge is the best card game I have ever played. I played it mostly with my grandfolks when they were alive. It's the best card. It's heavy. I mean, even all the way down to where you're bidding in the beginning. This game is bridge. All right. Anyway, enough talking about bridge. But this game is a trick taking game where, whoever starts plays a suit, and everybody has to follow that suit, and whoever has the highest number by the time it's gone all the way around takes the trick. And then whoever took the trick starts plays the next card, and everybody has to follow suit. And if you can't follow suit, then you have to, there's rules, just very minor ones, so now you can kind of play anything. And the game, from mission to mission, gives you a different task that you have to complete. And there's a whole story to it. It's kind of cute. Like, on this mission for Planet 9, you don't have to read any of the story or even care about it, but I am, just for the heck of it. Okay, we finished mission 11, here's mission 12, and it gives you a little flavor stuff, and then it tells you what tasks you have to accomplish. And those tasks mean, like, you'll flip over these cards that tell you, okay, this person needs to win the red 9. This person needs to win the blue 3 or whatever. And then, but that's not enough. The person has to win the blue 3 first, and then this person has to win the blue 9 second. Or here's 4 different cards that you have to get, and you have to get, and you have to get, and you have to get, but we have to make sure that this one is the last one that anybody gets. And then you're dealt these cards, and then you just got to there's ways you can communicate with each other about what you have, but you can't talk. But there's ways you can communicate, like, this is the only card of this color that I have. This is the lowest card of this color that I have. And then you got to kind of compute in your mind, okay, how am I going to get this card that I know this person needs to them? How am I going to know when they're about to win the trick, and I can legally play this card that they're going to take? Oh my gosh, there's just a delicious thought process that goes on here. And, to some extent, we just kind of break the rules a little bit. We talk a little bit, just to make sure we're having fun. But if you really stick in, and really, it's very clever, this game. And so I would say the crew, this is a great time, especially now. If there's more, I don't know that it'd make a great 2-player game. I don't even think I think it has some, anyway, the more the merrier, it feels like. 4 or 5 people. And so if you can, if you're lucky enough to be cooped in with 3, 4, 5 people, this game is, it's a gem. It really is. I love this game, and it's definitely the most voraciously played game for me and mine this month. And we're up to mission 12. We just passed mission 12. And so I'm counting that as 12 games. We played many more hands than that trying to get there. Fantastic. So, moving on, what do we got in the queue? I'm still looking for Leaving Earth. I ordered that earlier this month, and I kind of lost touch with them. So, with everything going on, I'm just trying to be patient with that. But I've emailed them, I've called them, because it's like, hey, you're gonna get a shipping notice. That was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Just kind of fell off the map. I hope everything's okay there, because I really would love to play Leaving Earth. But anyway, so that's there. Looking forward to it. I did bite the bullet, and I ordered Kingdom Death Monster. I've been thinking about it, and but I'm going to do it, because I think it'll be a great hobby game for us to kind of get into, all of us here. You can only play up to 4 players, but and I got some paint, so I figured we'll all get together, we'll paint our characters, we'll make our characters, we'll start playing. I hear that this game is just it's top, and it's in that top 50, I think, of the 1-player guild. But I plan on playing it with everybody, and for us to just take our time with it and really, immerse ourselves in this world. And there's so much content for it too that I know probably never run out if we really get into it. So I'm very curious about that. That should be here though. It hasn't even shipped yet, but it will hopefully be here in the next 2 or 3 weeks. So Kingdom Death Monster is coming. What I've been playing here over the past couple days, Gloom of Kilforth, and now Shadows of Kilforth. I will have more to say on that as I played, but I have gotten 2 plays in solo, 1 play in with my wife last night. I will talk more about that later. Another thing, we're doing a lot of video games. Tons of video games. My wife and I are working on Borderlands 3. Some new DLC stuff came out. We've just finished Outer Worlds. We're now looking to get together with the kids and play cross-platform stuff like Dauntless. We can play it from the PS4 or PC. You can all play together. We're working on things like that. We're working on trying to This is a time, even though I talk all about solo tabletop gaming and it's how I kind of escape from the world, this is not a time to be escaping from my family. And so I am doing things to try and make sure I'm incorporating and being with them more and bringing them back into my gaming world, because this is tough on everyone, feeling this sense of isolation. But holy moly, we live in a day and age where, like, this is what the internet was made for. I mean, social media, for all the knocks it is received in the past, this is how we can stay connected. So, I would encourage you to reach out to those people. Don't forget to text them. Don't forget to FaceTime. Don't forget to use the technology that we have available with our phones and whatnot to connect. I think that is it for now. Again, stay in, stay safe, stay healthy, keep gaming, reach out, talk to me here. You can listen to that podcast I got going on. Find me on Instagram, Twitter me up, comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. Let's stay connected more than ever. And until next time, I am Board Game Mance, and I'm out.